Why? Why is it so hard to do all the things at the time
I
they're
I am
supposed to be
creating
done?
magnetic interference. I think that's the
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it
We're
happens every time, so I'm pretty sure it's
we're
me. So,
people watching you are experiencing, some of you are experiencing deja vu right now.
that's what this is. Or Groundhog Day. So I'll do it again. Welcome to Great Goodness. I'm so glad to be here today with my partner Karen and with John, who is thoughtful enough to come back after my other episode got eaten. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then I do ask that you like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. And if you or someone you know is putting goodness into the world, please share that with us because we want to share those stories. And so it's easy to find either one of us. I'm on Facebook, and also our contact information is down below in the About section. So be sure to get in touch with us and let us know about the goodness you see in the world. Okay, so now we can start. So we'll get right to this. Karen, I cannot wait to see what the Oracle card is going to be today because it's always so
Oh,
on
that's
tap.
okay. All right. So yes, all right. So we're going to start as we always do with an oracle or a tarot card. And today we are going to pull an oracle card. This is from one of my favorite decks, The Wisdom of the Oracle. It's a big box. It's so good. It was the brainchild of Colette Baron Reed. The artwork is by Jenna Della Grataglia, and it is published by Hay House. Love this deck. This is what the back of the
All right.
cards look like. And we are not asking any specific questions or asking for guidance or anything. We're not asking for anything, people. I'm just going to pull a card and we're just going to look at the card and see what it speaks to us today. So that's where we're going with this. And I'm going to look at it first. Okay. Y'all just know I've just shuffled the heck out of things already. I'm going to look at it just because Angie always asks me something and I can't
Mhm.
tell her if I haven't looked at it. Oh, okay. This is card number 34, and it is a leg up, and
Mm.
it features,
We've seen this one before.
I know, right? Okay, this deck, I mean, y'all see how big it is, right? It's got a
Yeah.
ton of cards in it. I always think it's really powerful when we get a card that we've seen before because
Rosemary.
it
Rosemary
will,
Watola Trauma. That's whose
uh-huh. Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
So it's
Oh.
either we need to hear the same message again, or it may have a different message for us today. I
Mhm.
love this little baby polar bear that is climbing up onto the back of, I feel like it's a mama
I do
polar
too.
bear,
Yeah.
and getting a leg up. And great goodness, don't we all want a leg up sometimes?
Yeah, and it kind of interestingly enough, like I think about receiving a leg up, but I am thinking it's fairly relevant to a lot of the ways that John brings goodness into the world because one of the thing that really caught my attention that made me want to bring John on was poetry, medicine for the soul, and
Yes.
that's such a I know John, you do it because of how you feel like poetry is for the soul. But as a poet, for me, it wasn't a sense of leg up because it's like one of the
Yeah.
things we want to do as poets is be heard, is we want
Yeah.
to share. And when someone provides a platform for that, it really is a leg up. And
Yeah.
so
And y'all,
Yeah.
y'all need to know that this podcast that Angie's talking about is, it's an amazing podcast that John hosts, and I'm sure he'll talk about it some. That is people talking and referring to poetry as medicine, and it is medicine for the soul. It's awesome, you guys. I know we'll give you more information about that in a minute, but yeah,
Yeah,
leg up.
Angela, 182 shows.
wow, 180. And how many listeners are y'all up to now? It's pretty
Well,
high.
last year we had a little over 1,100 downloads, which was about 30% more than
Wow.
season four.
Wow.
So, well, we're on a different platform. We're on Riverside FM, which is a virtual recording studio, and we're on, Apple and Spotify, and we have some people uploading for us to one library, one the Topsham Library and the Fort Worth Poetry Society. So no, we've got yeah, it's like usually we post on a Wednesday. So Wednesday morning between 10 and 11, there's a lot of poetry activity with
Mhm.
our no, it's great. And listen, some
That's
of the,
great.
you're on it and
Yeah.
just amazing. You've both been on it. So
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that was so much fun.
yeah, it was. It was actually the what do you call it? Is the spawn of that? Great goodness is the
This is a
spawn of
This is
yeah,
Spawn.
you spot it is this that inspired this. How about that? It
So
inspired us to do this. So
so I'm
get
the big
together.
polar bear and you two are trying
Yes.
to jump on my back. Is that what you're
That's right.
saying?
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's what
That's
it
right.
is.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
it did because we had that conversation
It did
on
give
Yeah.
us a leg up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's
and we
good.
were like, "Oh, this is fun. Let's keep doing this."
Yeah,
And
we need to do this.
yeah. And another thing, I know we need to read his bio, but the other
I know.
thing that I love about where is I want you to talk about the evolution of poetry as medicine for the soul, as medicine for the soul, because one of the other things you're doing is you ended up it receives grants now, and you've actually been able to pay a producer, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's really a leg up in a sense to again another creative is getting
Yeah.
paid to do their work, which is really important because in this country, at least, and in this day and age, a lot of creatives do their work entirely for free, which is not good or bad, but
Yeah.
it's nice
Yeah.
to pay your
No,
bills.
we got a grant of 7,500 from
Yeah.
a poet who's a venture capitalist that is on a foundation board. And then we had individual donations. So we spent about 10,000 last year
Wow.
because we did 17 shows, mostly the two poets. And then the Topsham Library asked me to produce and host National Poetry Month. So we had
Oh,
very, the first time they did it, very small attendance. At times it was me and the poet, which counted as
that's
great for me.
okay.
It's like I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So
Yeah.
basically, I felt like, maybe I just record all these poets. So then we did 15 more podcasts. We did 32 podcasts, and we usually do 32 in a year, 30, 32.
Mhm.
Um, and Karen, did you want to do my bio quickly?
I do want to do your bio. Just while we're on this train of thought, though,
Yeah.
so now we're talking about poetry medicine for the soul. How do people? I know we'll have links up with this video, but if you're just a person listening, how would you go find it? Do you is it on like what platform is it on where they could just type in poetry
Well,
medicine
it's
for the soul and
it's
maybe find? Or could they can they Google search it and find you?
yeah, you could find it on Apple or Spotify, the
Okay.
podcast. Um, you could go to Simplecast if I sent you the link. You could go to the Topsham main library under the
Okay.
adult section, and they're all available. So yeah,
We have
yeah, no,
plenty of roads lead to the poetry medicine for the soul.
yeah,
But Spotify and Apple are really easy.
Yeah,
That's
that'd
yeah.
be
that's
So
how I
easy.
always
So
find it.
because
Yeah.
I know y'all watching this are going to be super curious. So yeah, easy peasy to find that. Okay, John, do let me introduce you because I'm sure at this point people may be like, "This is interesting. Who are they talking to?"
Johnny on the
So
spot. I think that's the
right. Okay, yeah, this is really abbreviated. So just know this fella, John F. Gillespie, he does a lot. Okay. I'm going to read some stuff to y'all. John F. Gillespie is a nonprofit and social enterprise CFO, which is a chief financial officer, board treasurer, and advisor. John has delivered and managed interim CFO and outsourced accounting services for client engagements in the nonprofit and social enterprise sectors since 2004. With more than 40 years of experience working with over 210 pre-revenue to multi-billion-dollar companies, including Acumen Fund, Ashoka, Barnes& and Noble, and many, many others. John leverages his in-the-trenches CFO expertise to guide CEOs and boards on how to grow their enterprises. He's been featured in the Chronicle of Philanthropy, Nonprofit Times, Entrepreneur.com, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Investor Circle Entrepreneur Newsletter, and many other publications. He's currently the board treasurer for the Curtis Memorial Library in Brunswick, Maine, and is on the boards of the Sea Meadow Marine Foundation and Millay House, Rockland, which is the birthplace of poet Edna St. Vincent Millay. He's a member of the finance committees of the Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Project and the Maine Health Mid-Coast Hospital. I know him through his podcast, Poetry Medicine for the Soul, which I'm obsessed with. And so I'm gonna cut straight out of his bio so we can just get talking with him.
How does an accountant become so engrossed in poetry?
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. I think when I was getting my MBA, I thought I should leave with a skill set.
Mhm.
I probably should have been like a marketeer. And so I took a lot of accounting courses because I was good at math.
Mm.
But I think over the years, part of it was David White's book, The Heart Aroused.
Mm.
Part of it was being exposed to other poets and reading poetry. And then when I left Innovation Luggage in 97, I was there 7 years, $40 million retailer. I had this, outplacement services, but I requested it be split up between a traditional, go to an office and they'll send out letters for you and everything else, and this entrepreneurial coach. And the entrepreneurial coach had me reading books and writing, and
Mm.
that's how, at times, a lot of the poetry stuff
Oh,
expanded.
wow. Okay.
So, John, I'm just now I'm just being in your personal business. Do you write poetry or are you
Yeah,
so
occasionally,
busy being a
occasionally.
fan?
Yeah, usually I have to be pretty aggravated, and I have
Ah,
to have the aggravation. And I don't know why I'm not just writing poetry every minute now because of some health issues. But normally I need to be, well, I'll give you an example. So a very good friend of ours for 40 plus years, maybe passed away in May.
mm,
And like the day she passed away, and she was very, very close. She's my daughter's godmother.
Mm.
ah.
And I just wrote a poem and it just came out of me. Just one of those,
Mhm.
I
Poetry is
needed,
Yeah.
medicine.
yeah, I needed to, channel a tribute, and it came
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I feel like it's a faucet that I always can't turn on. The right
Mm.
Yeah.
circumstances have to present themselves for the water to start, the poetic words to start, flying out. So
And
that's the scoop.
but yet you do enjoy reading poetry and find that medicinal.
I have 16 poetry books on the floor
All
from the
right.
Poets at National Poetry Month.
Mm.
And this one there you can't really see. It's called Deep Dangle and Dive, poems by Gibson Fay LeBlanc, who is the executive director of the Maine Writers and Publishers Association.
Oh.
And I'm having these IVIG infusions monthly to help my immune system. So I
Mhm.
get a good 3 hours of seated time. So I read this, and it's a lot about his brother who's passed away. It's a lot about hockey, and I love hockey.
Oh.
And he's a guy that, you know, showed up at National Poetry Month, and they referred a bunch of poets to me. And then we did a recording with him, and I think Kate Kearns is her name. So yeah, so part of it is, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of I I try to read more. I've got yeah, just I need to spend more time on poetry. I feel like we're doing this webinar, we're doing something else, and I've got to, spend my life on email and things like
But
that.
you,
So,
but you do need to treat yourself to the reading of it too,
oh
right?
yeah, no, part of it
Yeah.
is we went to this reading up in Rockland where the Malay House is. It was at this place next to a bookstore. And Rosa Lane, who's the one of the international experts on Emily Dickinson, was talking. She's been recorded by me, and she went live at National Poetry Month. Julia Bosma, who's the main poet laureate, was there. And this woman, Sama, who heads the main cultural, I think, association. I give you your last name, but I'd mispronounce it. And then A.O. Scott, who's the culture critic for the New York Times. So there are about
Wow.
35 people. So literally, what am I? I'm about 20 inches from the screen. So we were about 35 inches from the poets.
Mm.
Oh,
So talk about
nice.
live and yeah. So part of it is, yeah, yeah, an hour and 20 minutes to get up there, an hour and 20 back. It's a hike. And my wife Linda came up. No, it was good. It was good. It's just it's finding time to engage it all.
Hmm.
Um, and A.O. Scott has had a bunch of things in the New York Times. I'll send you. I saved a couple of them. One of them was one of the great Edna St. Miss and Malay poems. He had a whole five articles to memorize this poem, and yeah, yeah.
So let
Wow.
me ask you a question. I'm gonna really put you on the spot. Can you articulate how time and poetry really feels to you, like in your body or in your soul? Like why read it when you're getting an infusion? Or like how do you feel like okay, you've gone through a tough health time
Yeah,
for it's been a bit now. I mean, it's been
yeah,
over a year that you've been, but I watch you when you go, or I hear you, I guess I have seen you and th when you were being videoed, and then I
yeah.
can hear it when you are on the audio, the way that you come into the episode and the way that you go out, like something happens for you. Like and is it a sense of community? Is it what is happening inside of you? Can you articulate that?
Yeah, yes. That's funny because National Poetry Month. I don't know if it was our first, yeah, so our first live event, and I had just gotten out of the hospital. So I'll just tell you
Oh,
from, yeah.
gosh.
So that was like, and our first person, I don't know if they got sick or something. I don't know. For me, it's like sick is just sick. Uh, so I did the program, and someone asked me, "What is it about poetry?" And poetry, in a very simple way, poetry moves me.
Mhm.
Mm,
The words take me somewhere. The this, and I probably should write all this down. In a way, they're inviting me, they're calling me to immerse myself in this, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 minute adventure
mm.
and just to soak it in. So, for me, it's very easy to, just, I can pick up a thing the reason I took that, that Gibson's book is I wanted to go through, I don't make time for myself to go through a whole book of poetry.
Mm.
So I said to
Yeah.
myself, I think I went through 90% of it. So I read, and I did another poetry thing where I read like, I don't know, 45 poems in about 3 hours. And so part of it is I, I wanted to also, in this case, hear someone else's voice
Mhm.
and how it played
Ah,
out in their stories.
Mhm.
And the
yeah.
stories about his brother, the stories, some stories about his family, stories about hockey. in a way is I'm peeking through a kitchen window to
Mhm.
see someone's life evolve.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's pretty special.
It
Yeah.
is.
So it
And
doesn't take me much, Angela, to get going. I just
yeah.
throw a poetry book on the floor and I'll jump on it.
Well,
Yeah. Well, it moves you, right? I mean, it speaks to you, like you said. It's a connection.
and I do
Yeah,
think
and yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to say two things. One is I think you bring up a really important point that I don't know that we've ever talked about on here, and that is the difference between reading a poem and reading someone's collection. And
Yeah.
particularly if you read it in the order that they collected it. Like that
Um,
was so intentional, that order. And if you it's really a unique experience. I mean, reading someone's poem
yeah.
is a 3 to 4 minute adventure that you're invited on to immerse yourself in. I love that. But a collection is like you can make a very dear friend. It's
Yeah. It's a whole journey.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought that
Well,
was really
it
interesting.
brought me a lot closer. I need to send him a
Yeah.
note.
Yeah.
Um, because he shared a part of his life at times that was very intimate
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
and special.
Yeah.
Um, but there are solo poems. There's my foundational poems that they keep delivering for me time after time. So if I read, Mary Oliver's The Journey,
Mm-hmm.
ah,
uh, that's one of my favorite poems.
Mine too.
I I can always go to that and feel totally revved up because
Mm-hmm.
I feel
yeah.
like, yeah, I've got to leave the house and go out into the world
Mm-hmm.
and stride out into the world after a storm. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, is there are some solo poems or David White's sometimes questions that can make or make unmake a life, questions that have patiently waited for you, questions that have no right to go away.
Do
Ooh.
you have that poem sitting in front of you?
I have it online here. I just got the first.
Do you want to
I can.
read it to us? Just
Hold on. I gotta
Angie,
find it.
do you want to hear it, Angie?
Let's see.
Not to put you on the spot, John, but could you get yourself on the spot and share that poem with
Yeah. I was
us?
gonna say. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay. Hold on.
This is how generous John is of spirit. Like we're doing this thing live, and we're just firing off
All right.
questions. We haven't. There's no pre. We don't like have a pre conversation
Yeah.
with our people. We're just like, oh, thank you for coming on. We're going to be random, and it's going to be recorded. So
I
good
know.
luck with that.
Bless their hearts. And they always write me and they're
Yeah.
And
like, what questions are you going to ask? And I'm like, I don't know.
it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
find out.
So a little background on this. Uh, I was introduced to David Wagoner, who Washington State. He wrote a lot of poems that dealt with nature, but also dealt with, Indians and other indigenous people. So David White has always been enamored of, going through the forest, walking carefully through the
Oh,
forest, and what a young Indian boy would have to do as a way to learn how to protect himself. So I'm going to read sometimes. Sometimes, if you move carefully through the forest, breathing like the old ones, let me start again. Sometimes, if you move carefully through the forest, breathing like the ones in the old stories, who could cross a shimmering bed of dry leaves without a sound, you come to a place whose only task is to trouble you with tiny but frightening requests, conceived out of nowhere, but in this place, beginning to lead everywhere. Requests to stop what you are doing right now and to stop what you are becoming while you do it. Questions that can make or unmake a life. Questions that have patiently waited for you. Questions that have no right to go away.
Hmm.
oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Questions of, hey, so what question do you feel like is patiently what's a question that's patiently waited for you?
Well, one is, am I really
That's
going to,
intense.
am I going to get healthy enough to get back to where I was in, probably 2022?
Yeah.
I think part
Yeah.
of it is I help a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
and I'm cutting back on that. So,
Mm.
part of it is I help people first, probably before helping myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working with that issue. So part of it is, I'm 75. So, what am I going to do with the next 10 years or whatever of my life? And I know I'm going to make a difference. I'm just trying to figure out how do I do it? How do I do it, with some physical
Mm.
constraints? So,
Okay, so John, I think we should maybe talk about because we're talking about poetry as medicine for the soul, but like you said, I help a lot of people because there are other ways that
Yeah.
you create goodness in the world. There are other, especially when you left your one position and you went out and you've helped nonprofits. Am I getting this
And
right?
other entrepreneurs and
Yes.
well,
nonprofits.
I'm a score mentor. So I've helped a bunch of I don't know, 20 or so nonprofits over a couple of years. Uh, so I'm the treasurer of the Brunswick or Curtis Memorial Library. I'm the treasurer, although I'm taking a little step back at the Millay House, Rockland, birthplace of Edna St. Vincent Millay. I was on the finance committee of the Mid-Coast Hospital, but they've moved now to regional things. So the last meeting for me was on Tuesday. And then I'm on the finance committee of Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program. So part of it is I get to know the staff. I mean, the Brunswick Library is just amazingly good, strong financially, unbelievable staff. Um, Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention is a very dynamic organization, very loyal donor base, uh, just meeting the challenges of trying to provide food for, numbers that continue to decrease by more than double digits.
Hmm.
So part of it is, I get attracted to the mission, and I've been
Right.
involved with a bunch of libraries. So for me is I applied to the Topsham Library and I applied to the Brunswick Library. And the Topsham Library chose somebody else, and the Brunswick Library said, "Thank God he's here." Um, so that's part of it. The other part, I'll give you an example. So almost all my doctors have received cookies that I've made. So I
Ah,
will bring cookies.
nice.
So Karen and I diverged though. I had a pulmonology meeting. I don't know, I think September 16th or something. And, I've had ongoing issues. So I couldn't bake cookies. I just didn't feel good enough. So I went to Frosty's Donuts, which is, your hair stands on end when you're just thinking about when you walk in because it has this, donut wall that's
Oh
so
my
I got like they
goodness.
had all these pumpkin donuts, pumpkin caramel, pumpkin chocolate caramel.
Mhm.
So I got them a dozen donuts and the staff was, what's the word? Apoplectic? I don't know what the word is, but they were like so
Crazy
happy.
happy.
Oh my God, no one else does this. So part of
Hmm.
it is that
Oh,
like, thank you for thinking about us. I said,
yeah.
come on, you're the crew. I'm, I get joy in seeing other people happy. And Angela, it
Yeah,
doesn't take much to do that. I can say thank you to
yeah.
someone at the
Yes.
bank or a store, and occasionally someone will look at me like, "Did he just say thank you?"
Yeah.
It's amazing
Yeah.
how many people don't
Yeah.
do it. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No.
I, Sorry, Karen.
I just want to say we have Angie and I have conversations a lot of times about who are we inviting to talk with us on great goodness and why are we doing that and you kind of embody all of the whys about why we want to speak with people that are creative, which you are in so many different ways, but also that you share through your creativity, you share lifting up other people
Yeah.
and shining a light on their creativity and inspiring people to kind of come from their heart and to help each other and think about what's important to them and do those things. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there. It's one of many reasons we love you so much.
I
My mission in life is to make people successful.
mm,
And if
yes.
you were a baseball person, it'd be like hitting a homer
Mhm.
over the wall at Fenway, uh, the Green Monster. So part of it is, make someone happy every day. Make
Yeah.
a difference. It doesn't, I feel like every day there's just hundreds of opportunities.
Hmm.
Say something nice, say thank you, ask someone a question, show your concern.
Yeah.
To me, it's like,
Yeah.
why not?
And
Yeah.
I do want to draw attention also to the positions that you've held as treasurer.
Yeah.
Because so my partner and I are auditors, and one of the most thankless positions, it seems like in a nonprofit position, in a nonprofit organization can be the treasurer, right?
Yeah.
So like you've got a volunteer fire department and the fire people are heroes.
Yeah.
That poor treasurer is
Right.
is doing the most tedious work
Yeah.
and the most detailed work and and is in the background doing that all of the time. And without that treasurer, without good financial stewardship, there is no organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's critical to have that. And even you get a grant, a grant for something creative like the poetry is medicine for the soul. You've got to have someone who can put together a budget,
Hmm.
someone
Yeah.
who can make a case for that budget, and then someone who can steward that money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think we forget about those ways of being creative, and that really
That is creative and it's a big deal.
and it is goodness. It is
Yeah.
Yeah.
to take something like that, a skill like that, an ability like that, and then use it
And
in
yeah.
all those ways. It's a tremendous
Yeah.
gift,
Yeah.
very
Well,
necessary.
no, that's very nice. So the numbers part, part of my job is to make sure the numbers translate into what's actually happening in the organization.
Mm.
Hmm.
And I could spend hours telling you about times when it didn't for a variety of reasons. But the other part, so, making sure that the financial picture reflects, whatever you would
The
call that nonprofits, let's say, reality.
yeah.
The other thing is, I'm not going to say prevent's not the right word, but to be vigilant about things that are going on that could harm the organization.
Hmm.
I
Yes.
don't know if this is a good example. So Malay House, no, I didn't realize they had emailed someone, but then they sent me the paper in the mail saying that the insurance company had come by for inspection, and immediately uh, uh,
Hmm.
my economic
Yeah.
calamity hat went on. I'm like, hey, was someone from staff there when they did the thing? And the whole, so part of it is, yeah, I went to my no, because part of it is, especially nowadays, it's very easy for organizations are vulnerable, and it's very easy for them to get kind of picked apart
Hmm.
by things that
Right.
go on.
And you're a
Yeah,
person that knows like what people need to know.
yeah, and
And you can and sharing
yeah,
that information is so important.
yeah. I guess my job is to prevent the train from falling off the tracks.
Yeah, and I think what's important, well, there's many important things about this, but I think one of them is that you don't you don't have to be writing a poem every day to be creative or to be supporting creativity or to be putting goodness into the
Right.
world. You don't have to be drawing a picture every day or doing it doesn't have to look like a sculpture
Right.
for
Yeah,
you to be creating
It can look
goodness.
like a plate of cookies that you take to your neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it can look like a financial statement. It can look
Yeah.
like a,
It can look like a phone call,
mhm.
actually. I
Yeah.
mean, all of those things are it's coming from your heart and sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of it is the big part for me is, what doesn't belong in the financial statement?
Hmm.
Things like, people pay rent on the 31st of the month. So one month has 2 months of rent, the next month has no months of rent. And then
Mm.
you see it in it. So part of it is I'm working to understand why and how someone is doing something.
Hmm.
And I'll
Wow.
tell you, when you start to ask some questions, it makes the person, usually an accountant or controller, but part of it is I need to understand the rationale for how they're putting the numbers together.
Hmm.
So that's
Mm.
like key. If I can understand what their process is, then it makes me much easier for me to review things and understand, oh, this is how they're doing this, or they're accruing these things, but this is under, I don't know, $500, so they're not accruing it, things like that. So,
Hmm.
part of it is, just trying to understand the lay of the land. How are things working? And then because no one else in these boards, well, some do, but most of the time is, I mean, Midcoast Hospital is huge. But most of the time, these, companies, organizations under 10 million, they don't have the financial expertise on the board.
Hmm.
So for the Curtis Moore Library, I'm the financial expert. For Malay, I'm the financial expert. For Midcoast Hunger Prevention, uh, there's a COO and a couple. So part of it is, but I'm the nitty gritty numbers person that's asking the questions that won't go away, Angela.
I know. So the
Oh,
questions has been waiting for you. Go ahead,
Yeah, yeah.
Karen.
well, I'm always derailing. I don't mean to be doing that, but a question that I had. So, ha how you know so many people and you have so many interests. I'm just curious, like, how do you, well, I'm just going to go back to the Poetry for Medicine of the Soul. How do you decide, you know, out of the 40 million people that are interested in the poetry world, I'm going to give this person a call and see. I mean, well, I'm just kind of curious about how you're interested in so many different creative venues. How do you decide today I'm going to reach out and we're going to do this?
I'll give you, a couple examples. So for the National Poetry Month at the Topsham Library, April 2025, I met with the associate director of the Maine Writers and Publishers, and she said, call these 7 people. Then I talked to Meg Weston, who's the board chair of Malay House. She runs a group called the Poets Corner. And I asked, and she suggested some stuff. And then there is times where it kind of like goes organically, where
Mm,
people hear their friend being recorded. Yeah, there are a couple. I have to go through part of it is once we stopped. So we stopped in July. So it was, what's that? 9 months of, of, you know, pretty much banging something out once a week. I mean, yeah, we were recording with
that's
this.
incredible.
Mhm.
What's great about Riverside FM is it's a virtual studio that's open 24/7. So
Mm,
we recorded stuff sometimes at 6 o'clock at night. We recorded on a Saturday. Sometimes we did a couple of back to backs, which was
that's
I wouldn't do that
intense.
again. But yeah, we did one at 1 o'clock, then we did one at like 2:30. It's like,
Oh my goodness.
okay, that's enough of that.
Well, I have a question. I want to go back to something you said because I, I feel like people who have a generosity of spirit like you do uh, can can get into a deficit and can find themselves in a position where they're like, hold on, I need to really figure out how I want to use this because I'm using it
Mm.
in all kinds of places and now I'm not maybe feeling that well. And but at the same time, people with that generosity of spirit, that's difficult. That's a difficult transition. What's that like for you? Or
Welcome to my world.
Right.
yeah.
So we're I sent you some things by email. You may not have had a chance to read it. So with my partner and I, a little pro bono company called Scaling Nonprofits, I said we should have executive directors doing some peer advising for other executive directors. So
Okay.
Oh,
we're scheduled for 16 podcasts. We actually recorded our first one on Monday. They're about 30-35 minutes in length. And it's called On a Mission for
Okay.
Nonprofit Leaders.
Hang on.
oh,
Karen,
I don't
you said it. You just look at your email, Karen. It's in there.
okay.
So, I mean, you can write it down. So part of it is,
on a mission.
yeah, on a mission for nonprofit leaders.
And
You'll just look at your email. You'll see it. There's a one pager about, uh, what when we're looking to recruit EDs.
it,
Part of it is we have, what was I going to say? Like we have no budget.
Oh,
So, so
this is new. This is all new,
So for
right?
me is,
I see the
yes, they don't like,
attachments. Okay. I got it. It is in my
so,
email.
so I'm going to have to personally invite, no, actually, you know, this very large insurance company is sponsoring the first webinar, which is fantastic. We're looking for this other accounting firm, but they don't have the budget for it. So part of it is we're just raising money to fund production. That's it. We're not,
Mm,
it's the same with poetry. It's the same with this scaling nonprofits. We just want to raise enough money to pay for, and we're using the same podcast producer. So
oh, great. Yeah.
Cool.
we want to pay for production. I mean, listen, we're on, Dropbox, Riverside, Simplecast. Yeah, we have there's a lot of little technology tools that you have to get. And then Tressa, Versteg, who's our podcast producer, is just totally amazing. So part of it is we have a world-class production capability,
Yeah.
but no money. Well, a little money, Cat. We've raised 6,300 so far this year.
All
John,
So
right.
yeah, I know. I
John,
get it.
I gotta read this. Okay, I think this is really important. So,
Is
all
this
right.
from the email, Angie?
What is it?
This is from my journal. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
This is from
oh,
the email. Because this is I saw your email, but I didn't know what you were talking about, and I didn't because I didn't see the attachments. So we were going to ask you about it, but now I see the attachments, and so I want to read this for our listeners. On a Mission for Nonprofit Leaders is an interview style podcast for mission driven leaders. They provide inspiring advice for solving the issues nonprofits are facing. Each 30-minute episode dives into candid conversations with nonprofit EDs, offering practical insights and fresh ideas on topics that matter to their peers. The goal is to energize nonprofit leaders to keep moving forward to achieve their mission. Now, where are these podcasts? Where can
No, we
I?
just recorded.
Okay, so
We're
you haven't
we're
posted any yet.
yeah, we're no, we recorded the first one. We need to get a
Okay.
couple done. So probably this one's gonna maybe October 14th, the first one's gonna come out. So part of it is what's a little bit different, Angela and Karen, about the poetry stuff is, I look at your work, we talk, we may have a brief conversation. For this one, I'll just give you an example. It's going to be on Spotify.
Okay.
So we had a half an hour conversation with Hannah, the executive director at Midcoast Hunger Prevention. I wrote up the notes. Then my partner Kim put questions in front of all the notes. So part of it is we had this half an hour conversation. Then we scripted it, and the scripting is not to say you can't go outside that. It's just
right.
to make it easier for the executive director to go through what they want to say.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different. So we had a half an hour thing, and then there was, 30, 45 minutes to script it. And then we went back to Hannah again and said, what do you think? She thought it was great. So part of it is the production process for this, and part of it we just started. So I'm trying to catch people. We probably should have started in July, but we didn't have a name, we didn't have a logo. We were still working, trying to find the words. So now we had another, we're also doing experts giving advice to executive directors. So part of it is there's probably going to be 6 ED, and then there's 6 experts. And the whole thing is I've got a huge list of experts. So um, yeah, no, as part of it is we're working to get this up to speed, but we have to have so many in the can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we
Yes.
can't,
Yeah.
And I
This,
told I suggested to my partner, I didn't tell her, I suggested, hey, we should just be posting weekly like poetry. And she looked at me like, what are you, nuts? You're not gonna do that.
Yes.
that's great.
Karen,
You have a partner that
Yeah,
corrals
I got
you.
it
overruled. I
is
got
good.
overruled
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I got
Yes.
overruled.
So, okay, so we're about to run out of time, but
Uh,
I have to say, I want to say two things. One, it made me think of one of the other things I see we do a lot of compliance audits and things with nonprofits. And
Yeah,
one of the things we see is really similar to what you see in small businesses a lot of times. You have this, like in a small business, a lot of times you'll see a person with an incredible skill, an incredible talent,
yeah,
and they want to make this thing or do this thing, but it's it's really hard for a person to make this thing, do this thing, and do the business part, the
yeah,
mm,
numbers,
yeah,
the all of that stuff. And it's the same thing with the nonprofits. So many times we have gone in to do a compliance audit, and these people, they have the most beautiful intentions. They're truly doing it. They haven't kept the receipt. They haven't written down a
right.
transaction. They
They're
don't,
bare
I mean,
bones.
it's a disaster. And bless their hearts. And so this is so important. And this work is so important that you're doing because this financial health and stewardship is so critical for nonprofits, just as it is for businesses. Now, I was wondering, I know there's a trillion different nonprofits, but I wondered if there is some way that you could summarize why you feel like nonprofits are important. Like, why do we need
Oh,
them?
that's a good question.
well, nonprofits are important because, if we compared, let's say, maybe a $5 million revenue nonprofit to a for-profit, the nonprofit would probably have less staff. The salaries might be less. The skill set of some of the people. So part of it is at times they're under-resourced and
Mm,
underfunded.
Hmm.
mm.
So my job is to at times try to level the playing field.
Wow.
I can do things, or I have people they can suggest that they should hire, things like that. So part of it is, I do a bunch of assessments. So I can basically say, I like this, I don't like this. I think if you're communicating to your board about you've got 2 separate organizations and so part of it is bridging the gap
Hmm.
and it's not that they don't have people that have good financial expertise. They don't have someone usually at the CFO level yeah, they don't
A
have the
leg
big polar
up,
bear. What?
a leg up.
They don't have a
Yes.
leg up. Oh
You're the
man.
leg up, John.
Sharon, cue the music. I got the leg up. I got the leg up.
Mhm.
Uh, no, part of it is I worked very hard with for-profit companies when I first started out. And my partner and I sold the business, and I went to work for someone who said, well, just do all your business development after 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
So when I
gosh.
left, we'd sold the business to this firm, accounting firm. So when I left, I said, if I'm going to work this hard, I have to really make a difference.
Mm.
And I can
Ah,
make a difference with nonprofits.
yeah.
That's how it started in 2004.
And thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
It is important.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place. That's a beautiful ending. I know we could keep talking, but we've got to end this. And so I love that note.
Yeah.
That's
Me too.
perfect.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
This was wonderful, John. I really
Did you
enjoyed this
stop the recording
time.
or not?
Okay, no, we're
No, we're not
still
done
recording,
yet
so we
because
we can't say anything too crazy yet. We'll have
Karen
to
makes
wait.
me do the prompt
We'll-
every time.
Yeah, you can keep
So
recording
yeah,
my
so
office when yeah.
so we do want to do a prompt, and we often it's a prompt that we come up with on the spot. Again, nothing about this show is planned. It's planned.
no,
And
there's no planning.
the reason is because the guests we have are so inspiring, and the prompts end up being based off of them. And with John, this is my prompt. It's so I bet when you go to the pulmonologist, I bet people don't bring cookies because like I remember this spring having biopsies done, and everything turned out great, and I was very, very blessed, and I hope that
Yeah.
blessing will continue. But I remember saying thank you and asking the people who were helping me like what was going on in their lives and talking to them,
Yeah.
and you could tell that people rarely do that. Now I understand why, because when you're having these things done, you're terrified.
It's a lot.
You're
Yeah, it's a lot.
terrified and you're just kind of surviving. But I'm going to challenge people. I think I want to challenge our listeners. Notice what situation you're in. Notice how you're feeling. And if you're having a stressful day or you're having challenges, you're not feeling so faithful, so you're having fear, when your day or your mind or your soul is in kind of that type of place, that's when I want to challenge you to ask someone else how their day is, or to sincerely wish
Yeah.
someone else a good day, or to give someone else a donut or a gift card for a cup of
Mhm.
coffee, or yeah, give someone else that leg
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
So in
that's
1979, let me just tell you because you're going to run out
okay.
of time. So in 1979, I was in this human potential training called LifeSpring. My wife was my small group leader. I think maybe this was the second one
Oh.
I took. So one of the exercises was there were people across this river that you had a bunch of issues with. And I'm going to cry in about a minute.
Ugh.
And then they basically flipped the script to say, these are the people that are trying to save you.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Think about all the people on the other side there
Mm-hmm.
that you're not happy with.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to save you. They're trying to give you a leg up. That
mm,
still blows me away. What,
Yeah.
21, 46 years later?
mm.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much.
So, Karen, we have what, four more podcasts scheduled? I want to get it on the calendar.
Excellent,
I,
excellent.
I'm not going to lose this one.
Yeah, you
Um,
lose this one.
Yeah, we have no credibility if we lose
There'll be
this
no
one.
leg up here. There'll be a leg
No,
I
short.
be
know. Thank
She'll
y'all
be
so
a
much.
three-legged wheelbarrow or something.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
goodness.
Three-legged one, two-legged stool. Yeah.
I think most of my stools only have two legs, actually. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah,
always I'm
yeah.
always rescuing stool things
you can
that
lean
don't
them
have enough
against the
legs.
wall. You
Yeah.
can
Okay,
always hang them on a
a
hook.
one-leg
Yeah.
stool. It's called a
Yeah.
unicycle. I don't know.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and reach out. Okay.
Do all the things.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Thanks.